Kalala Wahawala Yahawaba Shanu Shabashim Kokudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders that rule and teach well. Peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corners of this earth, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, risking their lives more also than ever to do so. So we have a little article here, but I posted it in the group. So I went to the link, and the little article is from a page that is, I don't want to say he's a private detective, but he has your own crime show, you know what I mean? People just go to him when they having issues that the police or whoever else basically ignore. So he you could say he's I don't want to say consultant either. But you can leave it as a PI anyhow, nevertheless. He's getting a little news, so on and so forth as well too, so you know what I mean? Right? So as I impromptu, so we go straight to the article there. It says international. Putin warns Europe starts a war and you will be wiped out. Russian President Vladimir Putin warned on Tuesday, December 2nd, which is today, that if Europe chooses to start a war with Russia, Moscow is fully prepared to fight, and he claimed the defeat of European powers would be absolute, that there would be no one left to negotiate with. Speaking in Moscow, Putin said Russia doesn't want a war with Europe, but insisted that if Europe initiates one, the response would be swift and far more intense than Russia's current surgical operations in Ukraine. Putin also accused European governments of blocking peace efforts in the 4-year-long Ukraine war, saying they had put themselves on the side of war and shut themselves out of peace talks. He warned that Ukraine could lose its access to sea if drone attacks on Russian tankers continue. Right? And we know Putin is a man that is a big dog. Right? So he ain't gonna say nothing and not back it firstly. Right? We know Putin is one of the main players on the earth right now when it comes to military might. Right? And when you read about articles like that, yeah, we know about the Matthew 24 and they bring it out, but these precepts coming out ad nauseam, almost every video these precepts coming out, right? Because hey, these signs are the times. These are the things we living through. You know what I mean? I wish I did say these things would happen, right? Matthew 24:6, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right? The end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. It had a series of earthquakes the other day, about 6 simultaneous earthquakes, you understand, on the earth. You know what I mean? On different parts of the earth, right? But all happening at the same time. Look at that, earthquakes in diverse places. Yeah, I wish I prophesied this. He said these things would happen, and hey, they're happening. It's not like we're making it up. You know what I mean? It's not like he's a man to go back on his word, as it's in the book of Peter. The Lord not slack concerning the promises. As some men count slackness, slakia, if butcher it, that's roughly paraphrasing it as I remember it. Right? Verse 8, all these things are the beginning of sorrows. Right? So these things have to come, right? Look at what's going on in our region of the world, on this side of the planet, in the Caribbean here. The most tense it have been in history, I should say, the most tense the place was. You know what I mean? Putin closing another nation airspace. You know what I mean? Venezuelans ramping up, well, the Maduro party ramping up the surveillance and security, so on and so forth, and them they getting ready, Trump getting ready, Putin saying, hey, if Europe want to play mad, go ahead, no problem, we will deal with all it to suit. All these things must come to pass. That is what the scripture is saying here. And it will, because it's happening now. It's happening. You cannot deny that the precepts not come. You can't deny the prophecy. You can't deny prophecy. Because we're living through it. We're living it right now as we speak currently. And everything happening simultaneous wars, the advancement towards the digital society, M.O.T.E on the way, all these things that happen simultaneously. It's not like a domino effect where it's one after the next. Nah. everything happening at the same time. You understand? The digital passport, the biometric passport, all these things happening all at once. All at once, right? Right? We go to the Apocrypha here. There's this second Ezra 15 and is it 22? Just bear with me 1 second, I'll get the piece up. Or is it 16? Just bear with me one second. No, not 18. No, 18. I'll come back to 18. Is that one precept I'm looking for here? I think it's either 16 or 15. Right? 16 or 15. Ah, shit. No, what are you guys here? 16 and 21, wow. It says, Second Ezra 16 and 21, behold, victual shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Yeah, great confusion, sword, which is war, missiles, guns, drone, bombing, everything, you name it. You know what I mean? The so-called superpowers of the world are technically advanced and all. That way most of the budgeting does go. Most of the money they making, the money they are allotting in the national budget goes to defense and security of the nation, you know. And then we see the fruits of the so-called labor. We see now coming to fruition, you know. Famine and great confusion, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Right? The sword will destroy them. There's no denying that the prophecy is not happening as we live and breathe, to say. You know, it's just another day. But what um or what I don't know to put it, or what I like to remember is that, hey, the end is not yet. This is just the beginning of the sorrows, right? I'm gonna go to verse 18 now. Same chapter, same book. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. And what shall I do when these evils shall come? You understand? What would you do when evils shall come? Scripture says the righteous will scarcely be saved. Scarcely be saved. See if I can put up that. Scarcely be saved. Uh, 1 Peter 4 and 18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? You understand? Where would the sinner and the men who don't believe? Where would the men who fell out? Where would the dropouts be? Where, you know what I mean? The men who say in the M.O.T.E is an embargo or is sin or is something other than the micro CM? Where are they? Where are the ones who took the bag and preaching contrary to the doctrine of the Lord? Where will they appear? What would be their lot? If the ones who doing this and giving and making the bodies a living sacrifice day by day, you know what I mean, for the word, for the gospel, according to 2 Ezra 2, and from 42 to 47, the ones that stood stiffly for the name of the Lord, if they would scarcely be saved, where the ones, you know what I mean, who go about their lives like, hey, nothing will happen, where would they appear, by? Where would they appear? You know? Howbeit that these things happen and then just go about, you know what? I'm gonna get one more. I'm gonna bring one more precept, right? Because men going about the day or the life rather, as if it's Zachariah or Zephaniah. this work, yeah. We got this last precept here. Zephaniah 1 and 12. Right? And it says, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. You understand? The men who living like there is no word, I basically what it is. Like we could do this and it had no judgment for it. You understand? The man who preaching anybody, any nation could be saved. Where is that written? Where was that prophesied? You understand? Where in history it happened? Where in history in the Bible it happened? Biblical history. When it happened? That it wasn't to the outer play, to the advantage of the Hebrew Israelites. It doesn't. It did not. It will not. You know. All these things is prophecies happening simultaneously. Yo. You think I get your act together, you go be. You know what I mean? You go get the sword. That is all it is. State. It's either you got up there, you get it together, or you get sword. That is all. You know, right? So that was just the message. Or just my little input on the article there. So it was edifying. I hope it was, you know what I mean, eye-opening. To the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yashai Bashem Kakadash. Until next time, shalom.